Guys and dolls, I don't know what happened there. I was in the middle of a video there and it just cut off, so I don't know if it's my storage. I need to work this storage out, it's a nightmare. And but anyway, tomorrow at 1 o'clock at the pier in Liverpool, Pier End I think it's called, at Liverpool. Any of my subs are in that area, you want to come and say hello. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, you know what I mean. I've been invited to speak. You know, still a wee bit thingy about it, you know. I'm not going to commit myself, you know, it's still all new to me. So it is, but it's not something that I started to do this for. I never started this to speak in front of loads of people, you know, even though I've been doing it on the internet. But like I say, when I started this, it was just for like my daughter and some close people around me that I wanted them to know what I was about and why sometimes I behaved the way I behaved, you know. People are cared about, you know. And I've got friends, you know, that, especially where I am, you know. Got an amazing friend, Pedro, we call him Pedro, you know, and you know, I mean, he's always been there for me, and I feel like I've let him down sometimes, you know what I mean, because of the way I behave, you know. And but he's never faltered in his friendship, you know, not that I know of, you know. You know, I'm quite sure I've pushed him to the limit a couple of times, you know what I mean, because obviously he's my friend, so and you know, he's my best friend here, you know. And just looking for my boy, it's pitch black. Oh, there you are, because he's pitch black as well. Clean this here, guys. Yeah, so sometimes my actions can affect my friends, you know, and that's a regret I have, you know what I mean. It's like, because, you know, he's a good lad, his heart's in the right place, you know what I mean. I'm not going to say too much, it's not my place to talk about him or anything like that, because he is a really good friend. He was there for me when my wife died. He fed me every day. Him and his missus have fell out, you know, but you know, he fed me every day. It was the only meal I was getting, it was the only meal I was eating, you know, because I was in a bad way. And he would come round. He was one of the ones that got me to the hospital when I died and everything, you know. So I owe him so much for that, and it'll never leave me, that kind of thing, you know, because you can gather the type of person I am, you know. And yeah, never forget people like that, you know, because I'll never forget people that do me wrong. So it's got to work both ways, you know. It's just ill natural, innit? But yeah, so tomorrow, you know, I don't know what I'm going into. I don't know who's organised it. I don't know much about it, you know what I mean? But, you know, hopefully, you know, if I do speak, I can make sure I get my point across, you know. It's very important that, you know, especially at a time like this, we've got so many people coming online and becoming patriots for all different reasons, whether it's because they can't get a house and they're seeing all these people get houses and hotels, and, you know, these people have lived here all their lives and they can't even get a house, you know. Some people are living on streets. I mean, I had a guy living in a tent in a forest when it was freezing, you know. And you know, these are the most vulnerable people, you know. It's always the most vulnerable people, guys, that suffer, you know. Guys with drug addictions, and they split up from their partners, you know, going through divorces and stuff like that, and they find themselves with no houses, you know. And you've got to wait now, you've got to, like, you know, wait for a long time and stuff like that. And like, it's just a horrible situation. There's no houses, you know. Even kids that are like moving on from their parents, they can't get a house in their area next to their parents, you know. When in Belfast, like, I've always known this, like, if the families all stay together, you know, and the council would do their best to do that, you know, because, like, we do live in an age when the kids are vulnerable because of the internet and because of the gaming, you know. They're no socialising, they're staying in the houses, and, you know, they're reading stuff online, and they're always looking for what's the word? Not recommendation. They're looking. You know, they're always putting their photos up in there, and if somebody says a bad thing to them or comments on their weight, you know, it can destroy a child. You know, and you know, I've had experience, you know, with self-harming and trying to get a child help, and I was told it had to be 2 years. 2 years, you know. I'm not going to say any names, but went to the doctors and she needed to get bloods, and they couldn't get bloods out of one arm, so she had to roll up her other sleeve, and it's just marks all the way up and down her arm, you know. And I was shocked, you know. I was like, my God, you know, because you think you would notice something like that, but if they're hiding it, they're going to hide it. And teenage girls as well, you know, it's not like you're looking, you know what I mean? It's like you're not, if they're getting changed in their room, you know, they're you know, it's a private thing, innit? Boys, it's a wee bit different, you know. You'd be going playing football, swimming and all that, and you'd be in the changing rooms together, so you would notice something like that. But yeah, I was disappointed in myself for not seeing it, you know. But whenever I tried to get help, what they said, when I phoned the school up to find out what was going on, this is God's honest truth. On my mother's grave, they turned around and says, don't worry about it, they're all doing it. Honest to God, like, they're all doing it. That's what they said to me. And I'm like, I don't care if they're all doing it. You know, I want help. And they were like, oh, there's a 2-year waiting list. You know, so this is why I keep going on about our mental health services and our NHS crumbling, you know. I can't cope with the pressure. You know, the doctors are leaving. Our good doctors are leaving. Why would they stay here and get taxed the way our government's going to tax them now? Of course they're going to go somewhere where it's nicer. You know what I mean? And because our areas are so depraved and there's so much drug addictions and mental health, it can be quite stressful for doctors having to deal with some of these people. I know what I'm like. I have been like, and yeah, it can be quite tiring to be putting up with some stuff that some people, you know, because people are coming on the phone, they're angry, frustrated, and they don't know who else. Maybe they're on their own and they take it out on whoever's on the phone, you know. And I totally get it, you know, but things are getting really bad, really, really bad. So they are in everywhere. And like I say, kids aren't being housed next to their families, so kids are ending up in miles away, you know. They're vulnerable then because they don't have security around them. They don't feel secure, you know. So yeah, things like that I'd like to address and bring awareness to, and see if there's anything we can do. We do have on Unite the North, we're starting to have a branch for mental health, so people can, we have like, I'm one of them, and obviously there's another couple, but we're trying to get more and more, because I can't do it on my own. I need more people around me that have been through childhood trauma and any sort of trauma, that are older now and have learned how to deal with it, so they can pass them skills on to other people. And that's the whole point of Unite the North. It's not just about like going on about illegal immigrants and all the rest of it and the state of the country. It is there to help other people, you know. And we are trying to organise a network of numbers that people can phone. You know, if I'm not available, then we can see if whoever's available, you know, and then we can maybe, because I can talk on the phone for like an hour to some people, you know. Some guys phone me up and, you know, and they can't get they can't get help anywhere else. And I think it's good whenever they know I've been to prison and I've been through childhood abuse and I've been through addictions. So it's not somebody from college or like from an affluent area that whose parents have put them through university and they've become a psychologist because they've read books. I think that's important, you know. I think when I've been dealing with people, professionals in my life, whenever they've been that kind of people where you can tell they're just like, they've been fucking silver spoon all their life, you know, you don't really take anything they've got to say because they don't understand. They don't know what it's like. Whereas, likes of me and other people around me, and I'm hoping that the people that I'm able to get back on track with their mental health, because it's not that hard. This is what I'm saying. It's not. There is solutions. It can be done. It's not impossible. You know, the people that you're dealing with just got to have faith in you and believe in you, and just follow what you're saying, and just know that you're always there. The fact that you're always there, anytime they pick up the phone. You know, my phone's on 24 hours, and I'll pick up my phone to anybody that needs me at any time of the day or night, you know. And I think that fact is that they know that. It gives them some sort of release and confidence, you know, that they've got somebody there. Whereas, like, say, these psychiatrists and psychiatrists, you get an hour, you know, and they're timing it, right, you know, and you may be at a bit where you know, it's really difficult, and you know, all sorts of stuff's coming out, and the next thing they go, right, that's it, finished, and you're like, what? And then you're sent out the door feeling all sorts of crazy emotions. So we're trying to find a way to change that and help each other, you know. And I think that's important. I think it's really important, just because of the way the world is right now, the fears that people have. Like, I've got grown adults that are going through really bad depression right now because, and I know this might sound mad, but they're really struggling because of what they're seeing. Some people are quite patriotic. Some people are quite, they love their country, they love their king and queen and all that, and you know, they're proper patriots, you know, do the heart, and they love everything about their country, you know. And then they see what's happening. They see the Muslim Defence League running about the place all tooled up, and the police just not caring. And then they see what the police do to our guys that aren't even armed, you know. I've done videos. You've seen my videos where they've attacked old guys and an old woman getting, a 73-year-old woman getting arrested in London, handcuffed behind her back. And I said, could you see them ever doing that to a Muslim with a burqa on? Of course not. It would never happen. You know, because if it did happen and it got filmed, the Muslims would be out in force, and they know that, you know, because they use violence. We've seen it in Leeds. They use violence, and this is what terrifies the government, because they've let so many in. Now there's so many of them, and they're a force to be reckoned with. If they all come out onto the streets, we see what they're like with the Palestinian marches when they all come out. You know, hundreds of thousands of them come out, and the government are terrified of that. You know, and that's why they're trying to keep us down. They're trying to keep us, like, beat us back and beat us down, so we can't get like that, you know. But obviously, after Tommy Robinson rally's coming on the 26th, and I imagine that'll be the start of it. And I reckon next summer you're going to see mass, huge amounts of patriots coming onto the streets to protest, because by the time winter's by and we're going in the summer, we're probably going to find a few attacks in the country. And, well, that's what I predict, you know. Something's going to happen, maybe over Christmas or something like that. But even if it doesn't happen, we're still going to see, there's going to be more illegal immigrants coming in every single day. They're going to be the worst of the worst. There's going to be more sex attacks, and people are just going to say, nah, I don't care if the government call me far right. I'm seeing loads of people with the name far right in their name on their, like, X account and all that, you know, like they're being sarcastic towards the police. You get me? They're you want to call me far right? Well, that's okay then. I'm far right then. You know, if you're going to label somebody far right because of what they're doing, and they're not doing nothing that's racist or anything else, then what do you expect? You know, what do you expect them to do? People have had enough of it, you know. They're sick of saying, I'm not far right, I'm not racist. So now we're at the stage where they're going, okay, call me far right then, you know. And yeah, I'm seeing a lot of that, so I am. And these aren't guys that are, these guys aren't far right, these girls. It's girls and guys, you know. There's so much happening, it's unbelievable. And it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. There's an explosion on the internet of patriotism, both from America and Britain, and the two are coming together, you know. Like, because I'm involved in quite a lot of their groups, I see what's going on. There's lists of patriots going about, and what's happening is guys are putting a list of patriots out on their X, and then everybody's following everybody in that list, and everybody in that list is following everybody back. And I'm seeing at least 4 or 5 of these lists every single day. So there's a huge awakening, So basically, I want you to understand, guys, because I know I've got a lot of patriots that follow me. I want you to understand, I know some of you can't get out of the house, right? I understand that. Some of you can't go to these protests because of the jobs you work in, or because of family members, right? I get that, but I want you to know this. Don't worry. Please do not worry. You're going to see what I'm talking about in the next 12 months. You're gonna see it. Obviously the government are going to try and clamp down, but to be honest with you, they haven't got the resources to clamp down. There's too many. There's that many patriotic sites, you know. Geez, I know at least 20 groups with over 10,000 followers each that have popped up in the last 2 months, and That's just in the last 2 months, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And everybody's following everybody else, you know. So it's almost like, I don't know if he's the pyramid sort of system. It's a wee bit like that with no bad outcome, you know. So there's nothing but good news, guys. I promise you that. Do not worry. I know you think everything's lost because of the Labour Party and the way they're behaving and the nick of the Labour Party and the politicians that are in the Labour Party. It's really embarrassing. I understand that. But the people will come out. It may take us a year to get everybody together to get rid of this government, but we will get rid of this government. We will have this government in a situation where they have no choice but to call a snap election. Okay? There's only so much our government can take and do without the will of the people. You got to understand that. We do live in a democratic country, and the government have got to understand that we do live in a democratic country. And I know they're pumping as many of these illegal immigrants because they're going to vote for them. We know that. Everybody knows that. But there's always going to be more of us than them, you know. Even if they bring in 1,000 a day, we'll still be able to do it, you know. The more that come in, the more bad stuff is going to happen. It's going to happen wider across the country. Yeah, we're going to see adults coming into our schools and causing problems. That's going to be horrific when that starts happening. You know, we're seeing it all the time. Grown men trying to tell us that they're kids. I've seen a coachload of children that were brought into this country, and half of them had moustaches and stubble. So, you know, I don't understand why they're not doing teeth checks and stuff like that, because you can tell the age of somebody by their teeth. Hopefully they're doing that by now but they're only doing it with people like that they're pretty sure aren't under 16. And the reason why they're only doing it like that is because of human rights, you know. Basically, you can't just demand people open their mouth and check their teeth, you know. No matter who they are. And you got to understand, because of the NGOs and everything else and the far left and Hope Not Hate and End Racism at Nick Lowell's, they're pumping loads of money into lawyers and everything to help these people, you know. They're fighting to keep really bad, dangerous men that we're trying to deport because of horrendous crimes they've committed to children. These men are getting these Nick Lowell's and these other organisations are getting legal teams together and funding legal teams to keep these guys in the country. You've seen the one with the guy who was deported. He came back in on a boat and then he got legal. You know what I mean? He's driving about in a Ferrari now, taking the piss out of everybody. And that's acceptable. We've got veterans living on our streets. We have veterans living on our streets, and this guy's driving a Ferrari. You get me? So there's going to be more of that, you know. Yeah, and you got to understand as well, not everybody's on the internet yet. Not everybody's social media'd up. People are still relying on the news. So they are. Sorry, guys. People are still relying on the news to get their facts, you know. And that's slowly, I can see the numbers going down with BBC News, Sky News. I know Patriots have got more followers than Sky News and BBC News, believe it or not. When Sky News and BBC News put a video out, they just get slaughtered in the comments. It's getting that bad now where they're having to turn the comments off. So please, guys, don't give up hope. Lift your heads up. Put a smile on your face, because trust me, there's guys out here working really hard, really hard for you and your family and the future of your children. Just because you can't do it doesn't mean it's not happening. And we are going to work twice as hard, 10 times as hard for people like you. I promise you that. I will give up every bit of my time as I can. Obviously, with the baby coming, my partner's 100% behind me. My partner's family were 100% behind me. So there's plenty of people looking after my baby. And I will not stop, so I won't, I promise you that, till my damn breath, until this country's put back on track. We get rid of the Labour Party and we start deporting these criminals back out of our country. And I don't care where they go. If they say we don't know where we're from because we don't have ID, they'll sit in prison. We'll build prisons just for them. And we'll make it comfortable. We'll make it comfortable. We're not going to jail them like criminals, but we will be putting them in a safe place out of harm's way so our children can't get any harmed. And they'll sit in there for as many years as it takes before they tell us what country they come from. And we're going to start demanding that these countries that have been firing their worst out of their countries and send them to be here, take them back. There's many ways of doing that. I don't know the full way, but I know there's many ways of doing that with these countries. But like I say, if we don't go to war, things on the cards, and we get Trump in the next month, then hopefully things will start moving a wee bit quicker. Once Trump's in, things will move a bit quicker. He's got no love for the Labour Party. He knows exactly what they think of him. He's aware of that. You've heard what Vance said. Vance said in a joke. It was a joke, but you know the score, guys. Vance turned around and said that the first Muslim country to have nuclear weapons will be Britain. So it may be a joke, but where did the joke come from? Oh, jokes always start up here, So let's be honest. I don't think he's far away from. That's what he believes in his heart, And with that in mind, I don't think America are ever going to let that happen. So have faith, guys. Be strong. Keep your heads up. Don't let all this carry on get you down. And I promise you, we will keep fighting and we will not give up. We will fill the jails up. We will fill us Generation X. We will gladly fill the jails up so our children don't go to jail, and our children will take up the fight after us. And our relatives, our families, our brothers, our sisters, our aunties, our uncles. Every time they put a patriot in prison, there's going to be another 10 patriots that come up behind them. So it's a win-win, no matter what way you look at it, guys. I'm not afraid to go to prison, as you know, and I know plenty of men around me are definitely not afraid, because every day you're sitting in that cell, you're in there for, you know what you're in for. So morally, you'll sleep like a baby every night, and all that matters is the future of our children. And if we don't act now, they are in trouble, And I'm not going to. I know I joke about going to Russia and leaving the country, and but that's going to be a last resort. And I'm going to fight tooth and nail so my child's safe in this country, in Scotland, or in England, or in Northern Ireland, or in Ireland, whatever country she chooses to live in, because it'll be her choice. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for getting the end of my videos, and God bless you all.